Hi all, I hope you're doing well. In this lesson, what we're going to look at is staging a Teams live event. Some of us have done kind of meetings and things like that. What this is really is this is a webinar. All right. So to stage it, I'm just going to pop into the group here. We generally stage these things from the calendar. So click on the calendar, and then instead of creating a meeting, which we've done now or done previously, we're going to do a live event. All right. So within our live event, we're just going to give it a name. Test live event. Location we don't necessarily need to worry about, but it's if you were in the interview suite in Abbey Road, for example, you could invite the room. All right. We set it for a start time and an end time. We'll make the end time 8 o'clock in case I'm not finished. And then you give as much detail as possible. So this is a training event. All right. The thing here is that you can see my name, right? And under it is the role producer. If I select that presenter, now this will become more evident, I suppose, in later videos, where we'll go into these in a lot more detail because they're quite complicated. But suffice it to say this: the producer role can dictate what's live on screen, and then can set up and queue either new presenters or new content. So, for example, leave me as the producer here. If I were to invite John, oops, daisy. All right. So I was to invite John, and I give him presenter. Okay. What that means is I can stage John's bit, so that I can do a presentation. I can have 2 or 3 speakers before him, and then I can queue him and his content. If I want to remove someone, I just click remove attendee. All right. So click next, and these are our permissions. So this one is grayed out by default. It's not that LMETB turned it off. It's grayed out by default. It can be switched on, though there would need to be a case for it, I suppose. You'd use that in the event of having potentially an audience without LMETB credentials. Generally, the one we're going to stick with are people and groups. So only people you specify. So in this case, if it's a group, I would use my group. Well, here are all the groups, look. Hence the need to sort out our groups. All right. Or we can do specific permissions for people. So let's use Brian. All right. I can select Brian. It just dawned on me actually that I didn't put in my groups. So let me go back. OCC, English, and then look for mine, which is why the naming convention is so important. All right. So I'll just remove Brian just by clicking the X here. All right. So event or org wide. That means anybody without LMETB can watch it. They will need to sign in, however. Okay. So if we scroll down here, then how will you produce your live event? This one is grayed out because it's set that way by default. So once you run the live event, then the producers and the presenters, it's recorded. Yes, we want to make the recording available to attendees, or not for that matter. And then attendee engagement report. It'll download a report that you can have later on. I like the Q&A session. What that does is it allows people to type, but initially I would probably leave that out. It can be quite distracting. It appears here on the right hand side of your screen. Again, we'll do all this in a later video. All right. And the last section then is using an external app or device. So if you have a really high-end camera, for example, you can choose it here, or you have a piece of software that will allow you to set up sound effects or lighting effects or anything else. You can do that in here. All right. So what we'll do for the time being is we will schedule the meeting. That's it beeping. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear it in my headset. And that's it now. It's telling me that it's on at the moment. I can click join and all the rest of it. And I know that John is going to be presenting. So John's going to get an email. And yeah, that's just one of the joys of working in IT. So listen, thanks for your time. I will follow up with a presenter view and a producer view in a second. And yeah, you'll see it in more detail. Thanks very much for your time and best of luck. Stay safe. Slán.